Hey everyone, Professor Adjvan here. Today I want to show you how to make a scatter plot in your calculator. So if you look on the left of the screen, you can see the calculator, so you can follow along with the buttons that I'm pressing. In the center of the screen, you can see the screen of the calculator, so you can see what the display of the calculator should be showing. And on the bottom, you'll see a key press history, so you can follow that to see the sequence of button presses that I'm doing to do the various things as we go along. All right, so if we're making a scatter plot, we have some data set. The first thing we need to do is put that data set into our calculator. So there is a button called stat for statistics, right? It's two to the right of the green alpha button and right next to the variable button. It says stat. We want to press that. So there's a lot of stuff in here, but the only thing that we need to know right now is edit. Right, so it's the first option by default, so we can just hit the enter button. Now I already have my data in here, so I've just used random numbers for the purpose of this video. You have L1, L2, L3, and so on. If you have data in here already that you don't want, for example, I have this data in L3 that I don't want. The way you get rid of it is going to be highlighting the list number. That's what L stands for, list. You're going to highlight the list number and hit clear, enter, and that will delete the entire list. If you use the delete button, watch what happens. The entire list goes away, but notice that list 2, I now go L1, L3. List 2 has now disappeared. I didn't just clear the list out, I deleted it entirely. So if you do that by accident, don't worry, it's easy to get back. What we need to do is hit second, delete, and it's inserting a list now. It's asking us for the name. So I accidentally deleted list 2. I want to put list 2 back. So the name of this is second 2, and you'll see L2 pop up, and if I hit enter, it not only brings the list back, but it also brings the data that was stored in that list back as well. So take a minute and put the data that you currently have into your calculator. You want to put your independent variable into list 1 and your dependent variable into list 2, or your x variable in list 1 and your y variable in list 2. If you're in a statistics course, that would normally be referred to as an explanatory variable into list 1 and a response variable into list 2. All right, once you have your data in here, we now need to tell our calculator that we want to make a scatter plot. So the way we do this is by hitting second y equals. This brings us to the stat plots. We can do things like scatter plots and histograms and box plots and all that good stuff. So we need to turn one of these on. So we can have multiples of them on at once. We just need to use one of them. So I'm highlighting number 1 already, and I'm going to hit enter. And it's going to bring up all of the options for this plot. The first thing we need to do is turn it on. So I highlight the on button and I hit enter, and you'll see that on is now highlighted instead of off. The type, there's 6 different types of things that your calculator can do. The first one with the dots is a scatter plot. So if that's not already selected and highlighted, you want to go over it with your cursor and hit enter, and that will make it so that we are making a scatter plot. Then it's going to ask us, where is our independent variable? Where is our x variable or the explanatory variable? And we put that in the list 1. The y list is where we put the response variable or the dependent variable or the y variable, and we put that into list 2. So mine says list 3 right now. I need to change it to list 2. We can do that by hitting second 2. Okay, do not use the alpha button to make a L and then put the number. That's not going to work, right? So you have to use second and then the number for the list number that you have your data set in. So that those are all the options that we have to change. If you have a newer calculator, you can change the color of your graph and you can change the style, the mark that the points are going to use, but those aren't necessary. You can play with that if you want. So what we need to do now is press the graph button. Now notice when I hit the graph button, I only see 1 point. I put a lot more data in here than 1 point. So I can manually change the window to see all of the points, or we can just tell the calculator to do it for us. I can hit the zoom button, the middle button at the top, and I can hit number 9 for zoom stat. And this is going to zoom in on any statistical graph that we have, and we can now see the entire scatter plot zoomed in nicely so that we see all of the points on our screen. If we want, we can hit the trace button and use the arrows to jump around the points to see exactly what they are with their x and y values. All right, but that's it. We've made a scatter plot. Now, you might get some issues when you do this. So the first thing you should do if you're getting an issue is check your data. You might be getting something that says dimension mismatch, which means that you missed a number in here somewhere. Right? If I delete one of these, so that I now have 8 entries in list 1 and 7 entries in list 2, if I go to graph this now, it's going to say dimension mismatch, which means that there is a data point that doesn't have a corresponding value, right? It has an x value, but it doesn't have a y, or has a y and it doesn't have an x. So this is the most common error that my students have, and it's very simple to fix. We just need to go in and make sure that we have all of the data points in here. Okay, but if you're getting a different error message that I haven't covered, please comment it down below and I'll do my best to help you out and troubleshoot. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful. If it was, consider giving the video a like and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, good luck, and we'll see you in the next one.